Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the second episode of the Jets Up podcast. I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Jets Wire and Charlie Morrow. How's it going, guys?
Last name right. Get it.
Hey, thank you, man. I know Jets Wire can't pronounce people's names, so that's why I took the host job on the show. Now I'm playing, but do you guys have anything to say before we start?
My coaches want to see me die.
I got nothing to say.
All right, man. So let's get right into it. What are your guys' reactions to the divisional round of the playoffs? Charlie Morrow, I'll start with you.
I thought the Ravens were pathetic in the cold weather. They just looked like they had never played in that before, which surprises me because they play in Baltimore. And then I just think Chad Henne did a very good job. And obviously he did not have a perfect game. He threw a horrendous interception. I thought he did a very good job of making a play when it counted. And I think that's what a backup's job is. And then I just think the Rams were not ready to play the Packers. But to be fair, the way Devonta Adams scored that touchdown against Jalen Ramsey is kind of weak because they were talking all week about how, I'm better than you. No, I'm better than you. And then he goes in motion like 3 times just to do a little end around and catch a touchdown instead of trying to challenge him on a back shoulder fade and really show him who's boss. And then it's just sad to see Drew Brees go out like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to get mocked in the comments for my prediction last week, but bring it on. I can take it.
Yeah, if you didn't know, Charlie said that there was no chance the Buccaneers could beat the Saints.
Yeah, I predicted 38-4. I'm passing it to Wire. You can take it away.
So first off, obviously the Rams, they're really used to playing in really warm weather. They just weren't ready to play down in Green Bay this week. There were some times where their offense started to get something going, because at first it looked like the Rams defense so far just wasn't keeping up with them. And then their defense started to get a little bit of a rhythm, like getting some stops. But at the times when the defense was making good plays, the Rams offense started slowing down. They just were.
Aaron Donald not being in the game killed them.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to see the Rams win that game. That could have been the biggest upset of the week, but the Rams just couldn't handle the cold weather down there. So yeah, and the next they got the Ravens and Bill game. So a lot of you saw Lamar Jackson ended up getting hurt, and what's his name when they went in the game? What was that? What was his name?
Was it McSorley?
Tyler
Huntley.
Tyler Huntley.
Whatever his name is. Yeah. He came in. He played okay. He had that one. He overthrew Marquise Brown. That would have been like a 70-yard touchdown or whatever it was.
Good for a fourth stringer.
I know.
Trace McSorley throw 70
he wasn't
yards.
in because he tore his ACL. And then as Lamar Jackson had that pick six, it was like 101 yards. That really killed them. Then the Bills would go up and take a 17-3 lead, and then that was really it. After that, then the Ravens, they just couldn't find anything. And so so the Bills are going to the AFC Championship for the first time in over 25 years, whatever it was.
It's actually exactly 25 years. Good job.
Really? Ooh. And then next up, the Browns and Chiefs game. A lot of you saw Mahomes ended up getting hurt in that game. I think he had a little concussion. I don't know if he's going to be ready for next week. But Chad Henne was able to come to the game.
Let's go.
The GOAT. He was able to just keep the Chiefs in there, just get away with that game. And then the Chiefs defense was able to do their job against Baker Mayfield. So the Chiefs, they would end up winning that game 22-17. Tyreek Hill, the Chiefs went for it on 4th and inches with about a minute 40 remaining. They got it, and then the game was over at that point. The Browns had no timeout. So, yeah, and then next up is the Bucs Saints game. And to all you football fans, you should go ahead and say thank you, Drew Brees, for everything you've done for the game. One of the best quarterbacks ever to live. I wish him nothing but the best of retirement. It's really sad because I understand he only won one Super Bowl, but he was able to end his career with 571 passing touchdowns and over 80,000 yards. So a tremendous career, a future Hall of Famer right there. Bucks ended up winning that game 30-20. I wasn't really able to I was able to check a little bit of the beginning of the game, but I didn't really get to check out the whole thing. And Breeze, since that was probably his last NFL game, didn't go his way. He ended up throwing 3 interceptions that game and only about 150 yards. So that's all I got. What about you, Take Flight?
All right, so just for everyone, before I start, if you don't know, I'm a huge Colin Cowherd fan. So I'm going to do this a little bit on how Cowherd does it. So Rams versus Packers, not good enough. The Rams just didn't play well enough to walk into Lambeau and beat the Packers. I understand they play in hot weather a lot, right? All right. Weather a lot being that they're from LA. Going up to Lambeau is never an easy thing. I think the cold definitely threw off a bunch of players. Aaron, a lot of players put in their all, man, and that's really all you can ask. But at the end of the day, the Rams were just not good enough to beat the Packers.
Yeah.
Ravens at Bills, 101 yards or 101 yards. I don't know if that's 3 words. Am I an idiot? Do you say 101?
2 words.
All right. Let's say Josh Allen's legit. Look, the wind ruined that game in my opinion, okay?
Yeah, Justin Tucker
game, the wind was just awful.
Extra points.
They still lost 17.
Tucker missed 2 extra points. All right.
Well, that's so rare. One of the best kickers to ever live, probably the best.
When you watch the game, you see Josh Allen connecting with Stephon Diggs, man. It's just a beautiful thing to see.
It's special. It's just so special, those two.
Josh Allen's, in my opinion, he's a top 5 quarterback. I think he's better than Russell Wilson, if that's a hot take.
I agree with that.
I agree. Completely proved wrong.
Not the same.
And see, I think Taron Johnson with that 101-yard pick 6, man. That's just a story of keep your head up, man. He was the guy at the combine who got hit in the head with a ball. I remember watching that and thinking, oh, God, this kid's career is over. He just made the biggest play of his life and sent his team to the AFC Championship game. So salute to him, man. That's something hard to do to bounce back from that. Browns at Chiefs. Pray for Mahomes. All right. Yep. That was, man, I hated watching.
I'm a big Patrick Mahomes fan.
I thought Mahomes, for a second, I thought he broke his leg just because of how the season's been going. And when he stood up, I was a little bit away from my on my TV. When he stood up, I actually thought
his head was spinning. He didn't break his leg. His head was spinning from the concussion. He couldn't stay on his own feet.
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought. So, and to see him, man, he couldn't stay awake, bro. He kept going to sleep on the sideline. It just sucks to see a guy like Mahomes, who I think is going to go down at some point as the greatest quarterback to ever live, the greatest player to ever live. Sucks to see. Chiefs still got it done. I know Chad Henne came in and did his best to throw the game, but at the end of the day, man, diving for the first down, that's just a true example of heart.
Put your body on the line.
Put his body on the line for the team, man. You love to see that. Browns almost made the AFC Championship, and not a lot of people realize if Browns-Bills was the AFC Championship game, oh my God.
The Browns would be one
franchise
to go to their first Super Bowl ever.
That'd have been great. And then the Buccaneers versus the New Orleans Saints. Thank you, Breeze. It's just tough to see a guy like that go out like that. It's not right. He just doesn't look like his former self. But I think what a lot of people have to realize is the Buccaneers and Tom Brady just put on a display on how to win a football game or how to win a playoff game when not everything goes right. Godwin had a bad game. Mike Evans was all right. Gronk was a non-factor. Ronald Jones was injured. Leonard Fournette was their best weapon. Okay? Tyler Johnson coming out at a close second that game. Those two were the best players on the field besides Tom Brady.
Lost somebody?
Huh?
Didn't Mike Evans catch a touchdown? Didn't he muscle
Yeah, he
somebody?
did, but without that, I think he had like 2 catches. And you see Tom Brady. This is the greatness of Tom Brady. That's why I couldn't pick against him 3 times in a row against the same team. He's going to win games like that. And it's just something special to see. Once again, seeing Breeze take one last look at the field the field before he left, man, that really touched my heart. But you know what they say, the great
Think about it, right?
go
If you're a
out.
fan, would you rather his last game be at home or his last game have him getting their face stomped in by the Packers in Lambeau?
Yeah, exactly. I think I'd rather it be at home, but
Don't
what
have to
else
see
can
him
I
go
say?
down like that.
Breeze is one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history, and
Tremendous
the
career.
best dynasties, the best players, they don't go out with a bang, they go out with a whimper. We saw that with New England, and we saw that with a bunch of other teams. So, yeah.
So
So, with our second topic of the podcast, what are your guys' grades for every rookie from the 2020 NFL or 2020 New York Jets draft class? Charlie, I'll start with you again.
Becton, he gets an A-. He's raw and powerful. He's great in the run game. He needs some work against speed rushers. Watching the film, he needs to do better of gaining depth vertically when he's trying to pass block. He needs to work better at resetting his hands and finishing blocks.
Hold on, just to interrupt with you for a second, James Harden's the best player in the NBA. I don't want to hear it. Hey, come on! Let's go!
I got the game on right now.
Pat Connaughton's the MVP. All right, Charlie, keep
Charlie,
going, bro.
continue.
My fault.
I don't know. That's my grade for Becton. I mean, Mims, I gave him a B-. We saw flashes. I saw enough to think he can be a future number 1 receiver for this team. When he was actually featured and when he had a real quarterback, he had over 100 air yards against the LA Chargers combined between receptions and pass interference calls. Hall gets a C+. He was competitive against the best in the league. Showed some of his length and some of his football IQ. And I thought he did really, really well against the Rams going up against Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. Morgan gets an F-. If you get drafted in the 4th round, I expect you to be the backup right away. Being inactive for every single game is not an option. Whether that's Gase or whether that's him, it's just not a
That
good
was
look.
the most pointless pick ever.
As
Davis gets a D+. He's a great athlete. I just think he's bad at football. He has a lot of athletic talent, but I don't think he has a lot of football IQ. He just looks very unnatural playing this game. I don't see a bright future for him. Huff gets a B+. He actually had the highest pass rush win rate among all rookies in the NFL. That includes everybody. Zuniga, he gets a C-. I like his game, but where was the guy? This could be coaching. This could be him. No idea. I know he was battling back from an injury. Clark, you literally can't grade him. I know he was battling an injury. Gase refused to play him. I'm not sure if that's a him thing or a Gase thing, but it's still not a good look considering we had players playing like Josh Andrews, Connor McDermott.
Yeah.
We could have got him in there eventually.
Yeah,
Like
I feel
week
like
17,
Josh
we
Andrews,
brought
the
him
worst
out.
starting offensive.
And we could have done something.
like,
Maybe
lineman.
he'll get some reps next year.
And for the punter, the man, the myth, the legend, he gets a B+. He's got a big leg. He's a great tackler. I would like to see more pins. I would like to see more accurate kicks. Other than that, I thought it was really good. Looks like a future. I think he has the most potential of any punter in the league. Don't at me. And Walker.
I like him. I think he has a bright future as a kicker. I mean,
Great
punter.
points, Charlie.
My
Anthony,
bad,
you're up
punter.
next.
Hello.
Hello,
my bad.
Anthony.
Oh, I'm up. So first I'm gonna start with Mekhi Becton. I think he had a tremendous rookie year. Some of the time he went up against some of the league's best pass rushers, guys like the Bosa brothers, Chandler Jones, Frank Clark, Melvin Ingram. I think he has a really bright future as a left tackle in this league, and I can really see him as an All-Pro one day. And next I got Dental Mims. He gets a B minus. It took him a while to get on the field. He missed like the first 6 games of the year. But when I saw him play, like Charlie, you said, he showed us flashes. He averaged about 17 yards on a catch. And PFF currently ranked him 4th highest in rookie receivers this past year.
That's W because where is he ranked among draft order receivers?
Um,
9th, right?
something like that. I don't really know, but
By the way, you want to tell me that Mims' stats are bad? How many
down.
times did he get targeted? That's all I gotta say.
yeah, exactly. This new coaching staff, they just need to learn how to just get him more involved in the game plan. That's really it. And next I got Bryce Huff. He provided a little spark off the edge with his speed, but only finishing the year with 2 sacks and 4 tackles for a loss, and only in 14 games. I think he has a pretty nice role going forward with this team going into next year. And then Bryce Hall, I gave him a B minus. Again, it took him a while to get on the field. He played 4 games. He started 3. The 3 games that he started, he was able to start when Bless Austin was placed in IR and Pierre Desir was released back in November. So yeah, and then next I got Brandon Mann, B minus. I think he had a really decent rookie season as a punter. He averaged about 45 yards a punt. So I think he has a bright future in this league. But we're just gonna see what happens for him going into next year.
He's one of the few players on the team that actually excites me. As weird as that sounds, he's a punter.
Yeah. Then next I got Ashton Davis, C+. He missed a decent amount of time. He got his chance to play when Bradley McDougall got hurt for the rest of the year, week 8. But I can't really predict his future right now. Obviously, in some of the games in coverage, he was really bad. So I think that's the main thing he has to work on. But you've seen him sometimes. He can act really tough sometimes, but the main thing he's got to work on is his coverage. That's literally what it comes down to.
That talent, I think, when people get confused, is I don't think he has much football talent.
I know. I don't know if he's even going to be the starting safety next year. I have no clue. Maybe we'll end up signing somebody, but I can't tell you his future right now with the team.
I agree.
Next, P Ryan, C+. He got his chance to play when Le'Veon Bell was released by the team. I don't really think I didn't really see him getting enough time out there. I think Gase liked Franco a little too much. Obviously, you guys know that. You need to learn how to give these guys the ball way more. So the best game he had was about 40 rushing yards, but not enough there. But I could see going forward, I can see him as the RB2. So yeah. And next I got Cam Clark. I don't give him a grade.
I skipped Ryan.
It appears that Adam Gase just refused to let him play the last few games of the year. It's weird because you saw other guys play out there like McDermott.
I'm just giving my P Ryan because I didn't give one.
What'd you say?
After this, I have to give my grade for P Ryan because on the other side.
All right. But I really hope the team can give Cam Clark a few reps next year. But
Let's go.
It's over. Oh, it's over. So yeah. The next I got James Morgan. If I were to give him a grade, I would give him an F, but I didn't give him a grade because I understand he was inactive every single game. But I really think he wouldn't have even played anyways because he was like the 4th quarterback maybe. Maybe at one point he might have been the 3rd, but doesn't matter. He was inactive. I think that was a really pointless draft pick by Joe Douglas. I think that's one of his only mistakes he's made with this team. It's not really a mistake. It was just pointless in my opinion. So, and then next I got Jabari Zuniga. No grade. I don't think 8 games for me is enough to kind of say what kind of player that guy is. He didn't really show anything in 8 games, but I just don't think it's enough for me to predict anything. So yeah, that's it.
P. Ryan.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Next, me. I'm up.
No, you were not.
All right. Well, we can just kick you. I mean, I was a better moderator than you are, so you can shut up.
Oh, okay.
P. Ryan gets a B-. It would have been nice to see more out of him. I think he's future RB2. He really runs the ball up the middle well, and I think he's got great hands.
I like that.
Pretty good.
I agree.
All right, so for me, I'm going to go in the order of which we drafted him and the 2 undrafted guys at the end. Starting off with Mekhi Becton, this dude's an A-. Look, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I hated the pick at the time. I liked Worse better, and I was really in favor of drafting a wide receiver because I thought we were trading Jamal on draft.
I said on my story Mekhi Becton was going to be the biggest bust in the history of this franchise.
Yeah. I did too. I'm not going to lie to you. I give him an A-. He's been challenged with some top edge rushers like Joey Bosa, Chandler Jones, as you said. I think Nick Bosa for a while too before he got hurt in the middle of that game. And he's put up a fight. He's shown that he can be an elite left tackle in the league. And look, his technique needs to be better, and he needs to probably lose a few pounds so that he can keep up with some of these speedy rushers. But at the end of the day, man, this dude, he just throws people down, and it's so fun to watch, man. Number 2, Denzel Mims. Oh, my God. I just remember the pick being made. When we traded down, I was like, Joe Douglas is the worst GM in the NFL.
We could have picked Claypool if we want. If Douglas didn't trade down, we could have picked Claypool.
It's better than Claypool.
Yeah, I actually think
facts. All right.
You need to see him with a good coaching staff and a good quarterback.
Mims sliding down in the draft to, I think, pick 59. We select him, and I said, this dude is going to be the next A.J. Green. He gets a B from me. He didn't get enough targets. I think if he had a real quarterback, no disrespect to Sam Darnold, but I think he's been ruined enough to the point where you can't really count him as a real quarterback until he gets a real coach. With a real coach and a real quarterback, this dude would have had an A+. He would have been one of the better receivers. He would have had a Justin Jefferson type season, in my opinion. He needs some refining on his route running, but all in all, he's fast. He has great hands. He's extremely athletic, and he seems to have a good feel for the game. So I give him a B. Has potential to be one of the best receivers in the league.
Yep.
Ashton Davis, I give a C-. There's still hope for him given his athletic ability and just raw talent, but he's terrible in coverage. He's like a budget Jamal Adams. Sounds disrespectful, but he's really just blitz boy if you think about it.
Hey, we were a top 10 defense.
He doesn't look comfortable in the game of football. And look, I like Ashton Davis. I think he could be a great player one day. I'm just saying right now off this rookie season, he had like a 59 PFF grade. He did not play well. Next, Jabari Zuniga. I didn't like the pick at the time.
Yeah, I mean,
had never heard of him before, and I knew there was some edge rushers like Zach Bond, I think, on the board when we took him. I also like Tyler Biadasz out of Wisconsin to be a guard next to Connor McGovern, but we took Jabari Zuniga. I gave him a D-. I don't know how good this kid really is. He hasn't had enough snaps for me to tell you if he is a complete failure, but I'll tell you he was pretty bad during his snaps. Look, there's still some hope in him. I don't see it, though. I don't really see it moving forward. LaMichael P. Ryan, our fourth round pick, I gave him a C. He looks like a decent running back. He had I think a 3.6 average yards per carry. Had around 62 carries this season, so really not bad. Adam Gase just didn't want to use him over his best friend Frank Gore. The dude alongside Peyton Manning that's been carrying his career. But look, P. Ryan looks explosive, and he looks like a decent number 2 running back, sort of like what Bilal Powell was in his time with the team. Cameron Clark, I didn't give him a grade. He didn't play enough snaps, or he didn't play any snaps this season. And being that Josh Andrews was chosen over him a lot of the time, that's kind of that doesn't help his case. but I still think he has tons of potential to be a starting guard in the league. I just didn't see it out of him this year, obviously. We have James Morgan. I give him an F. I honestly don't even feel comfortable giving this dude an F. I think she should be a fucking Z- or some shit. Like the lowest you can give a player, that's what I'm giving James Morgan. He didn't even make the active roster, and we took him in the 4th round over Donovan Peoples-Jones. Yeah, hell out of here. I think we took him over Daryl Mooney too. Okay, sure. One of the worst quarterbacks in the league. Didn't even make the active roster over Mike fucking White. Are you serious? Hell
Dude,
out.
Mike, a good game manager, man.
I mean, sure.
People sleep on Mike White. He's really good in practice.
I mean, practice is not games.
We were currently the best practice team in the history of the NFL this past year.
Yeah, that's facts. What Adam Gase says. We are the best practice team in the league. We just are 0-11. You know? Then we have Bryce Hall. Dude, this was my favorite pick of the draft, I think.
We started 0-13, not 0-11.
I had Hall at a 2nd round draft grade, and this kid fell to us in the 5th. I gave him a B grade. He's shown potential to be a very good starting outside cornerback. He could end up being the cornerback 1. I think he's more going to be a corner 2. You see I'm rocking the Bryce Hall jersey today. That's how much I believe in him. He had that one-handed interception. It was so nice. He's looked pretty good in coverage, and he's had 2 pretty bad defensive coordinators. So that's looking bright. Give him a B. Next, Braden Mann. The dude that responds to all my messages on Instagram. I gave him an A-. He looks like one of the best young punters in the league, and I'm not just saying that as a D-rider, you know what I'm saying, because he's responded to some of my messages. But for real, though, he's looked like one of the best young punters in the league. I'm a little bit upset. I'm very upset at his ability to tackle because he's so good at it, and it's the reason that we don't have Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
But, you know, when you see a young player playing well, that's always a good thing.
That would have changed Jets' history there. If he never tackled him, that would have been a touchdown. We might have had Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. So I gave him an A-. Bryce Huff, our first
Think about it this way. If he never made that tackle, we could straight up trade the 1 pick for DeShaun Watson.
Yeah, it would be more easy. But I wouldn't, though. I wouldn't do that.
So I give Bryce Huff a B+. He's been pretty solid on the edge. It's really a very good production from an undrafted rookie free agent. He just looks like a solid, key contributor. You know what Blake Cashman is probably going to be? He's just going to be a great depth piece. He's going to be a contributor, and sometimes in situations he can come and rush the passer because he's of his athleticism. And then my final guy, Javelin Gayadri, A, border, maybe even A+. Dude had I think an 80 PFF grade, and we got him undrafted. If we don't keep Bryce, yeah, honestly, I think he ran like a 4.2 or something as a corner. But if we don't keep Brian Poole, Javelin Gayadri is going to be starting in that nickel cornerback position. He's incredible. I loved the signing at the time because I loved Javelin Gayadri's tape. He's just a really a highlight reel, a human highlight reel, like people used to call Odell Beckham. But love the kid.
Guys, we forgot about Lamar Jackson.
Oh yeah. F.
About Lawrence Cager, guys.
F.
If he got burned by him.
Yeah, Lawrence Cager. I didn't see enough from him though.
But I was happy after that play.
I didn't finish grading either of those because I think Lamar Jackson's a bust. But
those are guys that Jet fans didn't really pay attention to. Those are the rookies. Nobody talked about Lawrence Cager. I don't really care about him. He played 2 games, not even. He played 1 game at most.
All right, so 30 minutes into the podcast, and we've gotten through 2 topics. That's incredible, guys. But
we have 4.
Number
so
3.
We're on pace for the hour.
Yeah, that's true. So how should we go about trading for DeShaun Watson? I'll start with Anthony this time.
All right. It all just comes down to this. If the Texans, if they want 3 first-round picks, I would say no. Because you don't want to get rid of that much first-round picks. Because these first-round picks, we can get really, really good guys with these picks. Because if we were to trade the 2nd overall pick and the 23rd overall pick, listen to me, I'm okay with trading the 2nd overall pick, but I would love to keep that 23rd overall pick so we can draft a guy like Wyatt Davis or Najee Harris or something like that. But this is the kind of deal that I would do for Deshaun Watson. This is me. This is what I would do. This is what I would offer the Texans.
Okay.
I would offer them the 2nd overall pick, Sam Darnold, and a second rounder and a first rounder for 2023. That's what I would do.
I
But
do
if,
like that
but
trade.
if they want 3 first rounders, I just say we go in the draft and draft like a Justin Fields or Zach Wilson. Shout out to me.
All right, Charlie, you got it.
Yeah, I love DeShaun Watson. I think the argument that we should just take Zach Fields or Justin Wilson, Zach Wilson or Justin Fields is I'm just tired, man. I'm not on anything. Don't worry.
You're good.
It's just because at best those two guys would maybe be close to as good as DeShaun Watson is right now. So, I think we trade the 2 pick 34, Sam and Seattle's first next year, maybe even bless on Austin for DeShaun Watson and a fourth. I think what people get wrong about this trade is people are saying like we'd lose out on so much draft capital. Like, walk me through this, right? We would still have a first round pick this year. We wouldn't have a second, but we'd have 2/3.
Yep.
And then next year we still have our first round
And
pick.
if we get DeShaun Watson, despite paying all that money, we would still have the 5th most cap space in the NFL, so you can go out to free agents too.
Yeah, and like I don't get that argument, yo. You're trading the number 2 pick for Deshaun Watson. That's stupid, bro.
DeShaun Watson's the top.
Drafting Deshaun Watson at 2.
And had a career year, and his best receiver was Will Fuller.
I mean,
His best
the
receiver was
Texans
made of fucking
led-
glass.
the
It was an
Texans
awful
led
offensive
the
line.
league. The Texans led the league in yards per play with 2 different coaches and no help, all on the back of Deshaun Watson.
I'm not even gonna call Bill O'Brien a coach. Doesn't count.
He held the position, so I don't know. I passed off to take flight.
Yeah, so I made a video about this, so you guys already know how I feel. Even if we had to trade 3 firsts,
We don't watch your videos. Listen.
yeah, because if you don't know, this Charlie kid is a little bit scary. But nah, I'm just messing around. If we get to trade the number 2 pick this year, our Seattle pick next year, and then a 2023 first, I'm completely down for that. I just don't know if they want more. I'm not going higher than that.
Well, think about it. DeShaun has all the leverage in this. He has a no trade clause. He gets to pick where he goes. So I don't really give a damn about whether or not, they want this package more than that one. Because guess what? If DeShaun really wants to come here, which he does, he wants to be coached by Robert Saleh, he can choose to come here.
That's true. And the Texans will have no choice but to take the best offer from us. The thing is, and by the way,
That's the thing. He can decline going to a lesser team with a better offer. He
But
can say,
I wanted to say this if you guys haven't heard.
To pay that kind of money, though, that's the question.
There are rumors.
if
that
you're gonna
Texans-
pay a quarterback, you pay somebody like Deshaun Watson. That's a dumb argument.
That is true. But there are rumors that DeShaun or the Houston Texans would rather a guy like Sam Darnold over a Tua Tagovailoa. What do you guys have to say about that? Just a real quick.
I'm not impressed by Tua. I think Sam is more
Me
physically. I just think Tua has much more time, and his rookie contract's longer, and he just has more time to iron out his errors than Sam does.
I think Sam showed more his rookie year than Tua did this past year.
I agree with that 100%. I think
Sam
Sam
actually
looked
showed a
really
lot
good
of
in his
promise
rookie year.
first year.
In the second year.
age.
too. But yeah, I would trade a package like this, okay? This is going to be extremely interesting for you guys. Let me know what you think. Our Seattle pick this year, our first round pick next year, a first round pick in 2023, and Sam Darnold.
Listen to me. If we keep that second overall pick, we can pick Devonta
and-
Smith.
Let's say they don't even want that. Okay, we trade our second round pick this year. Why? Because I think Devonta Smith could be available later in the top 10. Guess what? Justin Fields had 6 touchdowns against Clemson. You can probably get 2 first and second for that second overall pick, and you stay in the top 10.
My thought process here is we should probably keep Sam and keep him out of this package because say we throw in a third instead of Sam, right? You think that's realistic?
I think we can net a second.
I'm saying
We can get a second and third rounder.
in this trade package, right? in place of Sam Darnold, do you think we can get away with throwing in a third-round pick?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yes, and we can net more than a third-round pick for Sam Darnold. We could probably get a second and a fourth. So that's why I keep.
Yeah. Mike went muted, by the way. But yeah, that's a good point. So I think yes, but sort of reluctantly.
I'd say
Because
yes,
I'm a
yes,
big
you
Justin
can
Fields
accept
fan,
the
as you
right
guys know.
offer.
If we're saying that the offer is going to be 3 first-round picks, but the Jets are 100% going to take Justin Fields at 2 if we don't trade for DeShaun Watson, I'm keeping that number 2 pick. I love Justin Fields. I love his upside. And I would honestly, if we have to give up a king's ransom for Watson, I'm sticking with Fields. But yes, I would definitely trade for DeShaun Watson. If you don't want to trade for DeShaun Watson, you're just a casual, okay? He's a top 5, arguably top 3 quarterback.
Yep.
So I'd look stupid if I said
You
yes.
get even better on the Jets. We got better coaching. We got a better offensive line. We can give him all the weapons in the world. So you get even better on the Jets.
More cap space in the New York market. But
Yep.
let's move
Think
on
about how
to
Deshaun Watson would make money hand over fist in brand deals here.
he might even take a pay cut because of how much money he's going to make in New York. But let's move on to number 5. I want you guys to rank the
We covered 3 topics. This is number 4.
yeah, my fault. I was looking at my script, okay, and my script is fucked up because I have number 1 as the intro. But so topic number 4, I want you guys to rank these 3 quarterbacks, 3 options. Actually, matter of fact, let's make it 4. Stick with Sam, draft Justin Fields at 2, draft Zach Wilson at 2, or trade for Deshaun Watson. Charlie, you go first.
I would take Watson at 1. I would take Fields at 2. I would take Wilson at 3. And sticking with Sam would be somewhere near 7, slightly behind keeping Joe Flacco as our starting quarterback, slightly ahead of having James Morgan be our starter.
Jesus. So what's like the 5th option? Get Nick Mullins to be our starting quarterback?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big Chad Henne guy. I think we should trade for him.
Oh shit! All right.
All right, you want me to go?
Yeah, you got it, Anthony.
All right. So in order, starting at number 1, I'd trade for Watson because you already know what Deshaun Watson already is. You don't know what a Fields, Wilson, or Darnold with a good coach. You don't know what they're gonna be. You already know that Watson can play good without receivers, without a good coach, and with no good offensive line in front of him. So I'm going to Deshaun Watson number 1. Number 2, I'm going with Justin Fields because you've seen him play against really, really good defenses at his time at Ohio State. Obviously, a lot of you saw he light up Clemson. Amazing night, 6 touchdowns. So if the Jets, if they're not trading for
Watson, he did throw for yards in that game. Like, you guys are so stupid. He literally had 6 touchdowns with broken ribs.
You didn't throw for yards, yeah, because every fucking play he stepped on the field was a touchdown. Shut up.
Okay, so if the Jets are not gonna trade for Watson, I want us to pick Fields. Number 3, Zach Wilson. If the Jets they don't get Watson and they don't want to draft Justin Fields, and they think that Zach Wilson just fits the system well, then you're gonna go Zach Wilson number 2, or you might end up just trading back if anything, because it wouldn't really make sense Zach Wilson going number 2 over Justin Fields, in my opinion. I just can't really see that.
You guys think I could teach an orangutan to play quarterback better than Sam Darnold? I might be able to do it.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, but
and then number 4, I really just don't think building around Sam at this point is really an option. With people saying that, I don't think that stuff's even true, to be honest. I really don't think. Just like, again, I think Sam Darnold, you've seen him the last few years. This past year was supposed to be that year he takes the leap. He didn't do that. Some of it was his fault. Some of it was Gase, and some of it was the players that were around him. But when you're a third-year quarterback, you should learn from the mistakes that you made the past 2 years before your third year. You should be able to learn from your mistakes. But we don't know. If Sam Darnold goes somewhere else and plays well, then that's just going to show how incompetent of a coach Adam Gase is. But we're just going to see what happens.
Good quarterback, just not playing for the Jets.
Exactly. If he goes to a team
Yeah,
like the
me too.
Colts, 49ers, or something like that, I think he'll be a good quarterback down there.
All right, so for me, and this is extremely ironic. So you guys remember how I was the only one to say the Jets are going to take Zach Wilson at 2 in our last podcast. Justin Fields is my number 1 option. Hear me out. This dude, I think, first of all, Robert Saleh plays a huge factor into this, and Mike McDaniels as well, because I believe in those guys to develop young players. Justin Fields has the upside of, like, if you combine a Lamar Jackson with a Justin Herbert, it's that fucking crazy. It's borderline near Mahomes level. That's how good he could end up being. He has a cannon arm and has like the
He has the
speed of
ability to run.
a little less of Mike Vick and like the power of Cam Newton. This dude runs a 4.4 and is tough to tackle. That's just crazy. So Justin Fields at 1, and I'm an Ohio State fan, so I obviously got that bias. Justin Fields at 1. Number 2, trade for DeShaun Watson. We know what this guy is. He's the 3rd best quarterback in the National Football League and is an incredible player. The reason I have Fields over him is because Fields' upside is just like crazy, man. But I would be ecstatic with DeShaun
Fields
Watson
at his best is Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, and so yeah. Wait, who's at his best? Is DeShaun Watson?
Justin Fields at his best is Deshaun Watson.
Well, Fields actually has a stronger arm by like 10 yards.
Well, Deshaun Watson knows how to read defenses.
That's true.
Lot
Okay,
better.
I'll give you that one. But yes, I got Watson 2. At number 3, draft Zach Wilson at 2. This kid is a stud as well. His upside isn't the highest. He could end up being like a little worse version of Deshaun Watson, but he knows how to read a defense well. He works through his progressions very swiftly, and he's extremely accurate in the short to medium game, and his throw on the run is just pretty. His accuracy in a long game for me is a little bit questionable, but
You know who he sounds like?
shit.
You know who he sounds like as a prospect?
Samuel Darnold.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. He sounds a lot like him. And at number 4, sign Taylor Heineke to be your starting quarterback. Number 5, bring in Nick Mullins to be your starting quarterback. Option 6, bring in PJ Walker. Option 7, bring in John Wolford. Option 8.
I heard Brett Favre's looking to come out of retirement.
Yeah. Option 8.
Eight RG3.
RG3 is available. Number 9. Nah, but obviously I'm kidding. Except for Taylor Heineke. I'd legitimately rather sign Taylor Heineke to be my starting quarterback than Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
I think you're not taking a 1-year gamble on Sam Darnold and paying him $25 million a year and then not having a quarterback next year if he plays.
Guys,
Going through regressing.
How about this? We bring back Gase and we sign Jay Cutler.
Perfect.
That would be so funny.
But all right, here we go. So topic number 5, and I didn't put this in your guys' script because I'm going to throw you a curveball. What do you have to say about Quinnen Williams saying the Jets should stick with Sam Darnold and draft Devonta Smith at 2?
I disagree with that.
Anthony, you.
I understand that didn't he play with Devonta Smith at college for a little while?
think so, yes.
I understand. Listen to me. Devonta Smith, obviously he's a tremendous wide receiver. I understand him wanting to get drafted by the Jets, but I don't think it's going to happen. At number 2, I don't really think it's going to happen. If anything, maybe Joe Douglas figures like say we like trade for Watson or something like that, and he tries to get like a pick like in the top 10 from somebody. But I just don't really see Devonta Smith being a Jet next year. It's just so I kind of disagree about Quinnen Williams saying that kind of stuff because you have to realize that this organization needs to know how to make the right decisions at this time because this is our chance to build a culture. Obviously, with this great staff that we just brought in a few days ago. So we need to make sure we make the right decision. And I think Douglas is smart enough to know that we need to move on from Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm going to go second here. So fuck you, Charlie. No, I'm just playing with you, bro.
All right.
But yeah, so I think for one, what is Quinnen Williams going to say? Oh, we should draft a new quarterback while Sam Darnold's on the roster and he doesn't know what the future of the franchise is.
Yeah,
because
he's never
not in
gonna
the front
say that.
office. Like, no, he's being a smart dude. to the media, which we haven't seen from him, quite frankly. Bless me. Thank you.
Remember after San Francisco, he answered every question with "I gotta watch the film." That was so funny.
Bro, just Quinn's just fun to watch in the interview, even if he doesn't say the smartest things at times. It's just fun to watch in the interviews.
Thank you.
Just first of all, the Alabama bias is real. Okay, he's a former teammate. Quinnen obviously loves Devonta Smith, and he's the best wide receiver in the class. So there's that. That's one. Number two, Sam Darnold's his quarterback. Sam Darnold's his brother, and he doesn't know what the future of Sam Darnold is. So you're not going to trash into the media just in case he's there next year. And number three, yeah, he might legitimately be friends with Devonta Smith and want him on the team, but it's not going to happen. I just don't. Once again, like you said, I just don't see Devonta Smith being a Jet next year. So, Charlie, you got it?
He's talking out of his ass. It's not going to happen. He's trying to protect Sam, and like you said, he's probably good friends with Devonta Smith. So that's what I chalk that up to. Okay, good talk.
All right, so here we go. Topic number 6. What is our predictions for the DeShaun Watson trade? Where do you think he is going to land and why? Charlie, you start this off.
If he goes anywhere, he's going to the Jets because that's where he wants to play. He has an opportunity to build his brand. It's his best opportunity for him to better himself in his football career, and he loves Robert Saleh.
I agree with you, Charlie. I think if he ends up getting traded, I really think he's going to end up going to New York and playing for the New York Jets. Obviously, it'll be so nice to have a star like DeShaun Watson in New York. I really think
we could have had if we structured it right last offseason, we could have had him and Hopkins.
Oh my God. So
we didn't want to give a second round pick up for. I would trade our fucking Jamal. I would trade Jamal Adams for DeAndre Hopkins straight up.
So yeah, that's me. I just think if DeShaun, I think it's either Jets or Texans. I really don't think the Dolphins can give up enough in order to get DeShaun Watson. The Jets, they can give up so much for him. The Jets can easily get him in a deal. So Take 5, what about you?
All right, so here's my thing. I think the Jets will end up trading for DeShaun Watson, but I'm going to be the outlier here. Let's say he goes to Miami. Okay.
You can't let that happen.
You can't let that happen, first of all, if you're the Jets, because, oh my God, that'll be the next dynasty.
I won't take DeShaun Watson if he stays in Houston or goes somewhere in like the NFC.
But DeShaun Watson
in the division. You have to make sure he's not in the AFC East.
Let's say the Dolphins package Tua, their 3rd overall pick, or they ask, do you want Tua or the 3rd overall pick? Let's say they get both, actually. They get Tua and Devonta Smith. So you have Tua, you have the number 3 overall pick, and then they throw in a 1st next year, a 2nd this year, and like a 3rd this year to try and outbid the Jets as best as they can. Then I could see the Texans pulling the trigger on that. I think DeShaun Watson does like Miami. He's a big city kid, so Miami's not going to be that big or that much worse than New York in terms of where he wants to go. I think Miami will be the next dynasty that happens, and it would really hurt me because then we'd be the 3rd or 2nd best.
You really think Miami will end up being better than the Chiefs?
Yes. With DeShaun Watson, are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, Patrick Mahomes is better than DeShaun Watson. Breaking down.
No fucking shit.
Yes.
Wow, you're just figuring this out. No, they have a top 3 defense.
The reason they're going to be a dynasty is because they have DeShaun Watson. Like the Chiefs don't fucking have Patrick Mahomes, you idiot.
Yeah, well, the Dolphins have a top 3 defense, and they have Mike Gesicki, Devontae Parker, and they have better weapons than the Texans already.
Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Sammy Watkins, McCall Hardman, and a top 10 defense.
And Chad Henne.
The Dolphins situation.
And Chad Henne. But yeah, anyways, I do think the Jets are going to be going to end up having DeShaun Watson next year. I'm just going to be the outlier and pick the Dolphins.
If he ends up getting traded.
We have 2 more topics left, and we probably have about 10 to 15 minutes left on the show before we reach an hour. So what are your reactions to, let's start with the Brandon Staley hire.
I'm going first this time because you went first the last 2 times. Okay. So
yeah, you go first.
Good defensive mind. I think he's a really bad fit. He knows the area of LA very well. He's a local guy, considering he just came from the Ram staff. That probably factored into the decision. I just don't think they need a defensive head coach right now. I think after Anthony Lynn, he was a very neutral personality. They needed somebody who would who would come in, help the young quarterback, and inspire the locker room. I think Brian Dable was the best man for that. I think Staley's a good coach, just not for the Chargers.
I agree
with that, Charlie. Obviously, literally, the Charger job was attractive was because of Justin Herbert, and I think Staley. I don't understand why they're bringing in a defensive guy. I expected Dable to get the job after the Bills season ended, whenever that was going to be, but
maybe they didn't want to wait around.
Yeah, probably, but that's your best. I don't understand. That's your best option. Listen, I mean, I think that's a decent. I think that's a pretty good hire. I just don't. But if you're trying to get Herbert twice as better, I don't know what you're doing hiring.
twice as better.
I don't understand, but
Herbert twice as better would be the best quarterback to ever live.
Yeah, it's true. All right, so for me, starting with the Brandon Staley hire, dude.
I'm shocked. Are you
Chargers,
shocked?
The Chargers are going to be the Chargers, man. He's a one-year coordinator, doesn't have leadership skills that I know of, and he's going to a team where you have Brian Dable right there, and you have Justin Herbert as your quarterback, which you want to do everything in your power to make that offense elite because you're not beating Chiefs with defense. You have to outscore them.
And especially
you're not going to
outscore them. The Dolphins, who are the league's next powerhouse, I mean, that's just you can't do anything about it. So I
also feel like Brandon Staley is going to be a little more comfortable, and I don't know if that's a good thing because he doesn't have to leave his town that he's already been in. So one-year coordinator, doesn't have leadership skills. We don't really know if he's that good or if he just got carried by the defensive talent. The Chargers don't need a defensive head coach. In fact, it's a bad thing to get a defensive head coach if you're the Chargers, and he's going to be too comfortable staying in LA. That is such an L. It's the biggest L I've ever seen a team take. Not obviously because the Jets fucking signed Tremaine Johnson to the biggest cornerback deal in the league, but
he was $70 million worth.
The Dan Campbell hire. What do you think, Anthony? Because Charlie is doing something.
I'm here.
I don't really know. I know that he was with Sean Payton for a few years, but I just got to see what happens. Maybe Sean Payton made him something but I think the Lions, they should have hired a guy like they shouldn't. I think they could.
Who was their other option though? Todd Bowles? Like they attracted nobody.
I mean, I could have been their head coach. Oh, okay. Charlie, what do you think?
Look, I think he's a very talented leader of men. Everybody respects him. He's going to get his guys to work hard. I just think the league is passing him by. He runs the ball from his time in Miami. I mean, just way too much. He needs to pass it. And the era in which he played and the style of the game in which he played, the style in which he played the game just doesn't fit the modern NFL. Look, I love Dan the Man. I mean, the best story about him is the first practice as interim head coach in Miami. He had everybody doing up downs and Oklahoma drills to see who was tough and who wasn't. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be 100% honest. Anthony, my fault. You go. What were you saying?
What I was saying before, I felt like they could have waited for like Eric Bieniemy to be out of the playoffs, but
he's not going to the Lions.
I heard that there was a big rumor.
I'm sure he would leave Patrick Mahomes for fucking Matthew Stafford.
Yeah. I don't even think Stafford's even going to be there next year.
Yeah, so who's their quarterback? They're going to call Dan Orlovsky out of our top.
Trey Lance.
All right, but yeah, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have not done my homework on Dan Campbell. All I know is that, one, the offense that he runs is boring as fuck. And then two, he is sort of like that fucking loud dude. He's a good leader of men. But if I'm Detroit, the last thing you need is to be more boring than you
shouldn't. If you're a Lion fan, I don't really think you should be thrilled with this hire. I really don't think.
You shouldn't be thrilled with this hire. I mean, look, at the end of the day, the Lions are most notable for wasting players' careers and that their biggest.
Their ownership messes them up every single year.
Like when your team is mostly known, like in the last 5 years, the most notable thing they've done is have Ninja as a fan of their team. They're irrelevant as fuck. I mean, and you're getting Dan Campbell, who's just a leader and can't run an offense. Okay, sure.
Maybe
Let's see how that goes.
maybe he'd be a CEO type of coach who'd bring in a good coordinator and oversee everything.
Who wants to be the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions?
Dude, you got to promote somebody somewhere. Somebody will take the job.
See, Adam Gase. Let's go. Jim Bob Cooter's going
Bill
back.
O'Brien.
Right.
And for our final topic of the day, what are your guys' championship game predictions starting off in the AFC going to the NFC? Charlie, you start us off.
Bills Chiefs. This all depends. If Chad Henne plays, the Bills will definitely beat the Chiefs, which saddens me deeply. I think
that's funny because that's not all you were talking earlier.
Shut up. He's better than Josh Allen. He just has no chemistry with his receivers.
Oh yeah.
They probably win that game by a final score of like 28-10. If Mahomes plays, we're looking at a really, really good game. I think you could probably look at a final score of something like, I don't know, 24-21. I mean, they both have good defenses. That's going to be a fun game to watch. And in the NFC, we've got Bucks-Packers. Packers are going to win that one, probably 28-17.
Stay hating the Buccaneers. Fuck.
I am riding this hype train until they go to until I will pick them to lose in the Super Bowl. I will pick them to lose in the victory parade.
Oh, bet. All right. So Anthony, you go next. What do you think?
So if Mahomes is able to go on Sunday, I think the Chiefs are going to come away with this win. They will go to the Super Bowl for the second year in a row. Then I'm gonna go to the if Chad Henne ends up playing, then I really can't see the Chiefs winning that game in any way. I can't see it. So yeah, and then Bucks, Packers, I got a little upset coming here. I really think the Bucks are gonna go into Lambeau Field next week and pull a big upset against the Green Bay Packers and go to the Super Bowl.
They're not
forever.
Not gonna happen.
I cannot wait till I prove you wrong, Charlie.
I don't care if I'm wrong. It's not gonna happen.
Here's what's gonna happen. Okay, here's my prediction. If Chad Henne plays, I'm picking the Bills 45-2. That 2 being
45-2. How are they going to get a safety?
They're going to get a safety because the Bills are going to feel bad and just take a safety in their own end zone. But if Mahomes plays, I think this is actually a fairly contested game. I'm still picking the Bills. I'm going to go 38-31.
The Bills will not play in the Super Bowl.
And now listen, you know what's coming now. We're going to the NFC. The Packers play the Buccaneers. I'm picking the Buccaneers. I'm not picking against Brady. Yeah. It's going to be flash of the most trash AFC East team that Tom Brady's ever had to play against versus Tom Brady. Okay? And we're going to see what happens. It will be an amazing storyline if the Bills end up beating Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
Bucks Chiefs Super Bowl would be a good one. I'll tell you that.
Bucks Chiefs Super Bowl would be a good one, but I'm picking I'm picking the Buccaneers over the Packers. Let's go 34-24. And there is my Super Bowl, Bills versus Buccaneers. The adopted AFC East team versus the walking mediocrity known as the Buffalo Bills, who have just suddenly become good out of nowhere. I want you guys to all say your predictions for what your Super Bowl is. Who do you think's going to win and why?
I got the Chiefs beating the Packers by a score of 34-10.
That is extremely unrealistic. There's no fucking way.
All right. My Super Bowl prediction, I got the Chiefs beating the Buccaneers 31-17.
We already know Take Flight's taking the Buccaneers to win the Super Bowl.
No. Okay, bro.
Bro.
The Bucks playing the Super Bowl.
The Buccaneers
winning. Sorry, I just don't see that winning.
I just see Tom Brady walking into the Super Bowl to play the Buffalo Bills.
If he wins his 7th ring, I'll cut
And
my
the
own.
Bills win 34-27 to
That's
create
even
the
more
best
outrageous.
storyline of all time. Bills beat Buccaneers in the Super Bowl 34-27.
All right,
Make it happen.
now.
Oh my goodness.
All right,
If
fellas.
that actually happens, that'd be amazing.
That'd be great, man.
We can end this
Because it's really a win-win either way. We either see the Bills lose and we get to laugh
The
at
Bills
that
are
one.
still looking for their first Super Bowl.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
All right, guys, that's gonna do it.
Make
I
sure
hope
to
you guys
tune in on
enjoyed.
Wednesday. All of our links are in the description. Make sure to subscribe, follow, retweet, whatever we're doing.
Check out our podcast on Wednesday.
Charlie Anthony, you got any last words? Anything to say?
Buccaneers will not win another game this season. So
Chiefs are running it back.
I'm gonna say Buffalo's gonna win and end their streak of being a poverty franchise, and then we sweep them next year and win the Super Bowl. So yeah, that's what I'm going with. For one last time, I'll see you guys on Wednesday.
Don't forget to subscribe to all of our channels.
S.
Follow our
literally said
Instagram.
all of
Yeah.
this. We could have ended 30 seconds ago.
Shut the fuck up.
All right,
That's a
good later.
Cut.